Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Sai. It's now the third time I'm coming, so it's a little chazaka. It should be with good health for everyone. It should be a good chodesh, which means a good new year. Shuna tovim mesike, each and every one of us. There is a story about the two holy brothers of Rebbe Leib and Rebbe Zisha. They were Talmidim, the great Talmidim of the holy Maggid. The Maggid from Mezrich, he was the Mamala Mukim of the Baal Shem Tov. They used to come to their Maggid, to their Rebbe, every Shabbos or so, and they used to hear a lot of Chasidus, Divrei Elokim Chaim. They, in a certain time, they asked for the Maggid that they want to have the schus to see tzaddik nister. A tzaddik is a righteous, but nister, how we say in English? Hidden. A hidden tzaddik. He every time pushed them off, one time. So one Shabbos they were by the Maggid, and the Maggid told them that this coming week, Baal Hashem, you both gonna see a tzaddik nister. And they were very happy and excited. And as known, they used to go, Rabbi Meilech and Rabbi Zisha, they used to go, it's called gulas. They used to go to gulas. Exile. They used to they used to wander. It's called wander. Wandering, go out from home, from the Dörfele and Städtele, and they used to go from Stut to Stut, from Dorf to Dorf, town to town, and whatever it was, not to our understanding so much. Of course, they did a lot for Jewish people to be Ma'orer and Mekarev and Mechazik, but it was more, of course, in it. And this week they passed through a certain forest or a wald, forest, and they got verblonget. They got lost.
Very good.
Good. And these two holy tzaddikim were wandering inside the forest 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. The whole week they didn't saw any human being. It was mamish to a degree that they were getting almost afraid. But more than getting afraid for their lives, they got afraid. It was Friday, Erev Shabbos, and Rabbi Zisha say for Rabbi Meilech, how will we keep Shabbos? We need to sit in one place, not to go around. We need to have a Seder Shabbos and Oinek Shabbos and everything in Daven. And Rabbi Meilech said to Rabbi Zisha, and also what will be with the haftoche, promise of the Holy Maggid, that they will see a tzaddik nister, and we didn't saw even not anyone. So they walking with hope that it's still going to be a Shabbos and a tzaddik nister, and from far they start to see a certain butke, a chover, a very small house, like whatever, a faloster house, and they were hoping that this is a Jewish man, first of all, and he will be able to take them inside the house for Shabbos. So this man, they saw that man comes out, and this man saw from the far that two people are coming. He right away started to scream on them, don't dare to come here. I don't need you for Shabbos. He was Jewish. I don't need you guys for Shabbos. You're too frum. You look very, very frum. I don't like the frum people. I don't need this. I want to have my peaceful Shabbos. I come to the forest, to the outside, because I don't want to see you all guys. Now you're going to come to my property. Don't dare come to me. Whatever, they come closer and they're begging. We're not asking for anything. We just want to be for Shabbos and just keep the minimum, and we're not going to ask anything. So he said, okay, but he have a whole big, zettel, with rules. First of all, they have to pay top dollars for every meal and drink that they're taking in, and for the achsania, for the bed. And then he say that you cannot do whatever you want. I gonna run the schedule, and I gonna run the davening. You cannot daven the way you want, and you cannot eat the food. Everything is the way I do it. Whatever they were being maskim beles breire, maskim agreeing, agree beles breire, and it's coming Shabbos, and they starting to prepare themselves to daven mincha and kabule Shabbos. And all of a sudden, this guy, he's screaming. He's already sitting by the table to make kiddush, and he didn't give them a chance, and he was screaming that if you guys are not going to come to now make kiddush, I have only one becher, one kois to make kiddush. Of course, that you guys could make kiddush by yourself. You have to listen for me, but I'm not going to give another cup because you are here. And then also Lechem Mishnah. I have only these two challahs, and if not, you're going to lose everything. So whatever they decided that they're going to make Kiddush and make the Seder Shabbos before davening. So you can imagine how things were going, and he was eating very megushem and very fast. And then he know that they're going to daven, and he warned them, if I hear one voice disturbing my sleep, you're going to go out of me right away. So whatever the Shabbos was like this, very pleasant. And it comes on Shabbos morning, same thing, until it comes Shalosh Yudas, and Rabbi Zisha say for Rabbi Meiler, brother Leib, please say something that our neshama should be a little bit inspiring. Such a broken Shabbos, we are lost, and we don't have nothing, and we don't have even the tzaddik nister, of course. And say something, say some words. So he started to say, it was Parshas Re'ai, last Shabbos. Re'ai Yonoich, he started to say that the person have to see Hashem in everything. Re'ai Yonoich Hashem Elokechu. And he was talking in Yunim, Chasidus, whatever. So this guy, this Balabos, he started to scream, why are you talking such stupid things? It doesn't mean that you should see Hashem. Unoich means you should see yourself. You should look on yourself. You should see your own Metzias. So they were They were like getting so many interruptions. Whatever. They went out Akev after Shabbos right away until they came out from the forest. And the first thing they go to the Rebbe and to the Maggid, and they tell the whole story and the wandering that they have, and of course that they didn't have the schus to see the tzaddik nister, and the Rebbe was promising them. And he said, this guy said anything during the Shabbos? No, only screaming. Anything, remind yourself, some word, any. If he said something, they said, he was saying only something negative. And they start to tell him that they said Re'ai Yonoich means Hashem, and he said Re'ai Yonoich means look at yourself, look at you. So the Maggid was getting very excited, and he said that this is a very, very good word, a very choshev word, and he explained it to them that Re'ai Yonoich means that you should see in your inner self, in your deep inner inside, the neshama of everyone, it's very holy. In other words, everybody have inside himself a place which is much more holier than he could see from his outside. So you don't need to wait to see a tzaddik nister somewhere in the forest or anywhere. Everybody has a tzaddik nister by himself, and at certain times, if he knows about it, he could reveal it, he could see it, he could recognize it. So they actually saw the tzaddik nister which is upon everyone's self inside. That's the story, and I would like a little bit more to explain it, to bring it out a little bit, and to bring it down, how we can live with it, and what this means, the Re'ai Yonoich, everyone should see himself. There is an interesting Kedushas Levi, the holy Baditchever. He say that there is three parts in a mensch. There is the head, which shows of intelligent, machshava. There is the body, which have inside the heart, which means feelings, midas, the midas. And then there is the down part, the raglaim, which is only the fact, only the facts of doing, going. There's no emotions there, there's no intelligence there. So he said, people usually will be machshav, will be respecting only when they use the intelligence, they do a serving for Hashem from the roish, or when they do a serving from the heart, from the give. But to do a serving that's only maise b'poel, only doing, it's only a dry fact, a dry maise, usually it's being very arugikiked, downgraded. And he said over there, the Pusik says, V'hoyu Akev tishmin. Akev means the foot, the heel. V'hoyu Akev tishmin. If a person serves Hashem, he is listening to the Torah mitzvahs with the Akev, which means by doing things, and it's only Akev. There is no emotion and no intellectual. V'shumer Hashem v'lakech l'chu es abris v'sachesed v'sashviu. It's a very, very special holy thing. And he is being Messiah. He ends up saying, "V'hoyu ha'ukoiv lemishor." This is a lashon apasik, that this ukoiv means the akev. Yeah, this will bring to the day of Mashiach, where everything will be straight. V'hoyu ha'ukoiv lemishor. We say in Tehillim, "Lahaget ki yusher Hashem." In the times of Mashiach, we all will see that what Hashem whatever did was good. And it makes sense, and it's Kiyusha Hashem. Hashem was right in everything. So v'hoyu ukoiv, this kind of avoider of doing things, even though you have no emotions, you don't feel anything, you don't understand what you're doing, this brings to the times of Mashiach. There's also in Hasidic Sforim that they say on the lashon Akev. Akev is also the lashon ikvese de Mashiach. Ikvese de Mashiach means also the Akev of Mashiach. Of Mashiach, the foot of Mashiach, which means in our days, and v'hoyu Akev tishmin. In our days, in the times of Ikvese de Mashiach, then it will be this kind of avoider of Akev, of just doing. In the times of Ikvese de Mashiach, that's the time of Akev, like we said before from the Kedushas Leib. That's the time that people will serve Hashem only with the pchina of doing things, no emotions, no intellectuals, not too much in it.
That's now?
That's now. Now is Ikvese de Mashiach, and we are very close to Mashiach. The understanding in it is explained in Hasidic Sforim. There was the time of when the Beis Hamikdash was Chaim, was standing, and a lot of holy times that Klal Yisrael had, that there were a lot of big sages that they were serving Hashem with kop, moyach, and with heart, understanding and feelings. When a person serves Hashem with these things, he's a little bit connected to his own metzias. He feels it, he understands it. It's not so much the bittul, the mesiras nefesh, that he goes away from himself and he's just being mevatel himself. How we say bittul?
Nullification.
Oh, that's too. It's okay. So he's going away from himself to serve Hashem. That's the mile of today's date of the avoider from Akev, from just doing things, because when you do a thing, and you don't have the feeling and the knowledge in it, why are you doing it? Because because Hashem wants it from you. So in this avoided, there is more bittul, you're being mevatel yourself, you go away from yourself, the self from the man is usually his intelligence, his feelings, he have his own emotions. But he goes away, his emotion would say to do something else. But he goes away and he's doing something, it's very dry because he don't have emotions. But from the other hand, it's a very deep avoider. It's a very deep mesiras nefesh to Hashem. And that's the mile of our days over the days of the Beis Hamikdash, over the days where people were serving Hashem because it was a lot of joyous, a lot of understanding, a lot of meaningful in the avodah. So of course it's a big avodah when you serve Hashem and you're very excited in it and you have a lot of your inner self is a part of the avodah. But from the other hand, we should understand the very big mile of our days, of the avodah of Akev. And that's why this brings Mashiach, because when a person is doing Mesiras Nefesh, when a person have, for example, an Isoyan means something that wants to grab him away from Hashem, which means that his feeling is not to do what Hashem wants, but he goes away from his own feeling, and he's with Mesiras Nefesh, Oimed ben Isoyan, he's not doing what he's not allowed to do. That's a Mesiras Nefesh that comes from a very deeper place, deeper than intelligent and feeling, because he don't have them. So he wakes up a deeper place, which is the Unoichi of the Neshama, which is the very inside of the Etzem HaNefesh, of the Etzem HaNeshama, that I want to serve Hashem because that's the tool, He's the emes, and I'm being mevatel myself to Him. This avodah from serving Hashem from the Etzem HaNefesh, from the Yechide, it's called Yechide Shebenefesh, that's something that goes up very, very high, much higher than our avodah, how nice and rich it is, the avodah of serving Hashem with intelligence and feelings, but it's not coming so high for Nachas Riyach for Hashem, and it's waking up much more higher. The Yechide is connected to the Yochid. Yechide from the Neshama is the Yechide which is connected with Yuchid, with the Yechide Shel Olam, which is Hashem itself. So our avodah from Akev is a waking, very, very tremendous Oir Eleki, which will be the oil that comes down when Mashiach will come. So that's why our avodah is bringing Mashiach, and that's the word Ra'ayu Noichi. Sometimes you don't see on yourself so big whatever. You see on the outside, on the outcome from yourself, the dryness. You're not involved so much, and sometimes nesyonos and aliyas and yeridas, ups and downs, and you're not happy. You don't see yourself being as serving Hashem. You have to understand. You have to be misboinen. There is avodah of unoichi, which this avodah comes out when you don't see too much outside. You're not so happy with yourself. In order you should be able to serve Hashem in that time, you have to dig inside more yourself and understand that I want to serve Hashem just because that's the emes and I'm being mevatel myself. You have to bring out your unoichi, and that's a very big mile. And with this unoichi, like the pasuk says, unoichi ayrait imchu mitzroimu. When you have the unoichi, you can go down and serve Hashem even in Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim means maitzer, boundaries. V'unoichi ha'alchu gam uloi. V'unoichi, the end of this pasuk. With this unoichi, with your inner self, you can come out from this Mitzrayim. You can come out and raise to a much unoichi ha'alchu gam uloi, which means even more than a regular madrege in avodas Hashem. And that's why, because it's unoichi. The unoichi Hashem Elokechu is inside the unoichi of every Jew, like the Baal Tanya says in Lekita Torah. Ra'ai unoichi, he said like this: Ra'ai, a person should be misboinen unoichi, that's unoichi Hashem Elokechu. Noisen lefnaichem, I give this. Lefnaichem is melashon pnimius. I give my unoichi. My unoichi is in your pnimius, because every neshama is a chelik lekam mal. So with the avodah of unoichi, you can really connect it with the unoichi Hashem Elokechu. And we all know the very holy word of the Rashab. He said, Moshe Rabbeinu, the Pusik, is being mayid,
Testifies.
Yes, that Moshe Rabbeinu was the biggest honor Mikolu Udam Asher Al Pnayu Adumu. So he's Medaik. What's the Lashon Asher Al Pnayu Adumu? Mikolu Udam. Unav Ma'oid, he's more humble. Mikolu Udam. What's Al Pnayu Adumu? So he said, Moshe Rabbeinu saw the time of Ikvese the Mashiach. Ikvese, that's the heel which touches the floor. He saw this avoide, the guys who will serve Hashem in the bchina of Asher al Pnayu Adumu, the heel that's on top of, really touching the floor. He saw this avoide, he was becoming a very big anova and humility against this big avoide that he could not do for Hashem, because he was, Moshe Rabbeinu was the Rabbeinu Melamed Das Esuam, he was the Das, he has the biggest intelligence. So even Moshe Rabbeinu, when he saw our avoider, he got jealous. Yeah, so in other words, sometimes a person is doing avoider and it's seeing, it could be seeing, it could be recognized. Our avoider is not recognized, not just by others, because it's so dry and it's so nisyonis in every detail. It's not even revealed to ourselves. It's a really tzaddik nister. It's our avoider is really for Hashem. It's really lishma. We have no satisfaction. We always saw our ups and downs and our so many things that's not so good that we wanted to have it. So it's really behalten. It's really hidden from ourselves too. They say a story that they said that by the Ruzhiner they found a small zettel, a petek, a note that he said how was the neshama of the Baal Shem Tov from a previous
generation.
Gilgal. So he said that one time that he was doing something that from heaven they decided that Eliyahu Yanuvi must come to him and be megale to him very holy soides HaTorah. Torah Sanister, because such a big thing he did. So Eliyahu Yanuvi came to him, and Eliyahu Yanuvi, before he started to learn with him, he said, in heaven they said that you did something very special. I want to ask you if you can please, before I start, tell me what you did, so then I will start to learn with you. So the Baal Shem Tov in his previous Gilgal, he said, no, I cannot tell you, because we learned that we do mitzvahs for Hashem. I'm not saying anything for other people what I did. So Eliyahu Yanuvi told them, if you're not going to tell me, I'm not going to learn with you. You're going to lose all these big soides. He said, no, I'm doing mitzvahs for Hashem only. And Eliyahu Yanuvi went away. He lost the soides. And from this, it was such a big rash. I would say a rash. Noise in heaven, that they decided that this neshama is going to come back.
Commotion.
Okay?
Better words.
Yeah, he's going to come down in this world, and he's going to be the one who's going to learn Torah Hasidus, which is Torah's Terusa Shel Mashiach, like the Rashab said. That means what Hasidus brings out always is to do mitzvahs for Hashem. The whole Hasidus starts. So we should appreciate that we're doing a lot of mitzvahs for Hashem. We are really good and serving Hashem in a higher perspective than the time that was before us. The reason why I say all of this is because when we look in the world, we don't see that people are happy. We see, happy with themselves. We see mamish the opposite. It's today even worse than in previous times. People don't know these things that I just said. It could be explained even more, and it says a lot in Chassidish Forum. And because of that, they are very down, they're very broken and not satisfied. The Lubavitcher Rebbe used to say, right from the beginning that he become Rebbe, that there are two types of Yetzer Horas. How we say Yetzer Horas? Whatever.
Evil inclination.
Okay. There is the general Yetzer Hara that everybody knows from times that he were being created. He said, do a vaire, Chas v'shulam, he is being menaseh to do a vaire, to do a sin, and the people have the argue, the melchume, and whatever, the ups and downs, and people are do tshuva. That's the famous Yetzer Hara. But today there is a different Yetzer Hara, in addition, there is another Yetzer Hara that wasn't before. The Yetzer Hara from our days is a Yetzer Hara that doesn't seem to look as a Yetzer Hara. Sometimes people could think that maybe it's the Yetzer Tov. A Yetzer Hara that comes to a person and say, who are you? Mi ani imu ani. Who are you and what are you doing? You're doing nothing. You're a failure from the first class and whatever, so on and so forth. And that's something that usually looks a little bit familiar, because we use sometimes these words when somebody is doing a cheshbon nefesh. You're going to sometimes use, look, you did not good with this, you did not good with that. Yeah? So people are not realizing that this is a Yetzer Hara. But that's why it's such a dangerous Yetzer Hara. Because when he's coming and he's saying this, and the person is not aware to fight it out, this comes and saying messages in the mind of the man that you're pushed to yid. You're a simple person, you're not big deal. It's nothing. You avoid this anyway, not so kolkach, not so much choshev, important, and whatever. Take it easy. Yeah, you're anyway not going to be anything, and so that's when he's having the Yetzer Hara catches a person with this, and when the person is already okay, beyish, down, then he could bring upon himself very easily all kind of no good things. Chas v'shulam. There is an interesting word that we say by the Seder. When the Rasha comes and he's asking, Mu avoda zois lochem, we say over there further, Elefi shehoitzi es atzmoi min haklal, kafar bika. So I heard the word sometime, very nice. Lefi shehoitzi es atzmoi min haklal doesn't mean that what he just said is with this word he took himself out of the Klal Yisrael. No, the opposite. He took himself out by himself. He took himself out of Klal Yisrael. He don't think that he's a part of Klal Yisrael, a part of the Gen, and that's what brings him after this Chas v'shulam to be a kofar be'ikar, to Chas v'shulam be to grab apikosis, because he's anyway not a part of Klal Yisrael Chas v'shulam. In simple words, we all know a nice picture is always there is the main part of the picture, and always there is also the very non-important things that just give the background, that give the very small details which could be, could not be. But there is the main thing, the tree with the house and the guy comes out, the guy is sitting, whatever. We usually have an image on ourselves in today's date, very, very much like this, that the real picture of Klal Yisrael, the real Jew, is a tzaddik, a talmid chochem, b'nai Torah. If I'm a working boy, if I'm like the way how I look from the family I come and the nisyonos I'm having up and down, I'm not really a part of the game. I'm like, there is a Klal Yisrael, and I'm a part of Klal Yisrael. But the main Klal Yisrael is the good people, the people who were caring a Welt, who bring Paris, who did something. Let's medamien, how we say, imagine. Let's imagine. Yeah, I forgot, yeah.
The Unterschied Shura, what is the tafkid? What's the mission statement that we have to do now, because we're in Ikkusad the Mashiach? Like in today's Tanya, it says that giving tzedakah, it will help bring the Gula. So is there, from taking away from Yeshir, I want to be able to walk out of the shir at 10 o'clock and say, this is what I have to do, so I can...
So let's come to this. Okay. Hashem. Another example, the way we look on ourselves, I have to bring it out because this is really what's happening. Imagine if someone comes to another one and he said, listen, I want to sell for you a business, a company, a business. But let me tell you about this business. Right now, this business is filing bankruptcy. It's no good, no good. Already a few years now, and it's just going more worse and worse. But you know, this business in a few hundred years ago, especially for a few thousand years ago, this was a really business for the books. This was the business. So would you buy it? Would you want to come in? Look, this was a business. A few hundred years ago, it was a real business. So everybody knows that if now you say that you're filing bankruptcy, so don't come to me. It makes no sense that before it was good. The message that sometimes the young people, especially of today, they always hear, a lot of Magidim, a lot of people who are talking are usually saying, you know, in the past it was big tzaddikim, it was big Talmid Chachamim. Today, what do we have? They want to bring, which in one way is very good, they want to bring the big mile of the previous tzaddikim. We should understand, we should urge for these times. But from the other hand, could be chas v'shalom a very big sakana that the person, the boy, the bachel, the kid, should think, okay, so today, whatever, it's just the image. It's just we like holding Yiddishkeit with do a little bit more, okay. But the real Yiddishkeit was in the time before, in the time we passed, and that's how we said a very big sakana. And I want to say a big mushal, a very good mushal on this, to bring out the mile of our days. And we know in England, there are two kind of soldiers. The one's a type of soldier that he goes very nice dress with the black and the red and the nice fur, spodik, and nice marches, and it's very big talanten and nice, very beautiful and covered for the malchus. But then there is the other military, the other soldiers that we don't see them so much. We don't see them nice dressed and nice marches. They are very far. They by the gvil, by the borders of England. They're watching over there. They're standing over there. Lav dafke with the nicest suits, green and ugly, all kind of whatever colors it has. So there were, of course, times, and everyone could have times that it's nice and he's doing nice marches and singing with all kind of instruments over there, and everything looks and goes very nicely, which brings a nice cover. But everybody knows who are the real militaries, that the king inside, the president or the king, is really relying on them. On which kind of military gives him to sleep ruhig, relaxful, to have a good night's sleep? The ones who are doing the marches with the very nice drums and the trumpets, or the one that's standing with the dirty clothes and they are fighting by the borders? Everybody knows. The answer is very clear. So we don't have so many nice dress and very fancy avodas servings for Hashem, but we are really fighting against the last few things. We are very into the world, very into the tachtoinim of the world, and we are doing the real stuff. We are being Yiddish. We are doing Torah mitzvahs with all the koiches, which is a real melchuma in the enemy side. So the king, the Eibishter, is really relying on us, and we are doing the end of the game that's gonna bring the days of Mashiach. This is the explanation to understand again our miler. I heard once a nice word that when Adam Arishon was being the sin of Chet Eitzadas, the Chet Eitzadas, and he felt that he's without clothes, and he was being behalten, he was being hiding himself, and Hashem come and Ayeka. So Hashem tells him, the Lushna Pusik, Mi igid lechu. So Udam Rishon is saying for Hashem that Ki ayram unoichi, I am naked, I have no clothes. So Hashem says to him, Mi higid lechu, who told you that you are without clothes? Aminu aitz asher tzevesichu levilti achol memen yocholtu. So I heard once a word that Hashem asked for everyone, Ayeko, where are you? Come on, do something. I don't recognize you. So the guy says, I was going to hide myself. I don't feel that I could come out and do something because I'm naked. I'm not fulfilling. I'm not okay. So Hashem says, who told you that you are naked? Is this a part of the Yitzhak? That means that's what causes you, because you were doing the sin, the Yitzhak, he comes into the Udam Rishon and he's telling him that you are naked. That's the Yitzhak. When you ate from the Eitz Hadas, the way how he come into you is not just by saying you are naked outside. It's also a din in nefesh. It's also in nefesh he comes and he tells you constantly that you have no clothes and not nice clothes. You have dirty clothes and so on and so forth, and you have to be hidden. You're not a part of it. So this gife, this thought is also a part of the Yetzer Hara. They say that it was a big chassid. His name, they called him Rashbatz. He was in the time of the Friedige Rebbe and the Rebbe Rashab and even before. So one time was the Friedige Rebbe, the Rayatz, was by a Fabring, a Avodas, and the Rashbatz, he was a very old chassid because he was still in the times from the times of the Marash and Tzemach Tzedek, very old chassid, and he was Fabringing with the people, and the young Rayatz, the son of the Rebbe, his father was still the Rebbe then, and he was sitting by the Fabring and he was listening. And the Rashbat said like this, between all the other things that he said also that the only thing that I'm afraid that he did not good on this world, that he's coming up and he will be ashamed, is that he was not holding of himself enough. I say it good? He was not holding of himself. Er hat nicht gehalten für sich. He was looking down on himself too much.
He was depressed.
He was, and maybe not just depressed. Maybe he was excited in some way, but not enough as the real potential as it's supposed to. And maybe I'm missing something, but the bottom line is the Rayatz, the Friedige Rebbe, came back to his father, the Rashab, and he said, look, the big chassid said that's what Chassidus is doing, that he's afraid, he's regretting. He's regretting why he was not holding of himself so much. What kind of, usually they used to say that you should be more bittul, anove, and in Gornish, Gornish mit Gornish. And the Rebbe Rashab was surprisingly to Rayatz, he got very excited of the words, and he said, Azoi, that's the real Hasidus. That's really what Hasidus is supposed to do on a person. He should give him more excited. He should hold of himself even more than what he is thinking. We said today by Hallel, Mekimi my ufer dol, my ashpa surim evyon. Hashem is being elevates the dol from the poor from ufer, and my ashpa is from the garbage. Urim Evyon. So usually we don't have to elevate someone that he fall down to the offer. He could raise himself. Someone he is in the ashpa, he could also raise himself. Why have Hashem to come and we say Bahalan Mekimim Ayufa Dal to come and elevate the guy? You know why? Because he's dull. Mekimim Ayufa Dal. A dull have Hashem needs to come to raise him up because he thinks that he belongs over there. He don't feel himself that he could get up. He thinks that's his real place. My ashpa is Urim Evyon. Because he is an Evyon, he thinks that's his place.
He feels unworthy. He feels unworthy.
Unworthy, and that's his original place. So Hashem have to come and grab him up. Lo yishivi im nadivim. Hashem sits up a Yiddish neshama im nadivim. Nadivim means the people who can give, who could not just they are okay. They could even give chayas and help.
High class.
What?
High class.
High class. That they could do even.
Who gives money? You know?
Yeah.
Right.
We say banishmas, matzil uni machuzak mimeni, ve'uni ve'evya megoizloi. I was always like very wondering of this end of the statement. Ve'uni ve'evya megoizloi. Hashem is watching on the uni ve'evya megoizloi that the ganav should not take away from him. So the ganav only goes to the. I mean that's really what the ganav is doing. He's going to the uni ve'evya. I heard once.
Why would he do that?
Yeah. Well, why to begin with? Why he's going? Go to Nedivim. Yeah. I heard once that it was a tzaddik. They called him Rabbi Hershel Astropoler. Yeah. He was very poor. One night his wife wakes him up. Hershale. A ganav dreitzach. A ganav is turning in the house. He's in the house. So he said to her, shh. Leave him. Should he circle around? Maybe he will lose something, so we will at least have what he's losing.
He will lose something.
He anyway doesn't have what to be steal. So let's leave him over here because maybe something will fall out from him. So what's going on over here? But I realized a geschmack knitch over here. The real gezeile and the worst gezeile that we can do on a person is when we take away his nefesh, when we take away his believeness on himself, we make him hold as he should hold on himself as a uni ve'evyon. Hashem is watching on us from the goizel, from the biggest gezeile that could be on a man, that he makes him, he should hold of himself as a uni ve'evyon.
Takes away his dignity.
His dignity. We just went into Chodesh Elul, a Chodesh Orachmim Vasliches. It's a month that we're doing tshuva, we're preparing. The Rebbe Rayatz used to always say that a real cheshbon nefesh, a real cheshbon is only when you take in the picture everything. If you just count, if you just make a list of everything that wasn't good, only the outcome that you spent the money, you're not including into the cheshbon the money that came in, the money that you were verdienen, that you earned, then the outcome will always not be a real sahakel, a real summary, because you only looked the money that was spend it out. You don't look what was coming into the business. If you want to see the real picture, you always have to see what was good and what was not good. Then you have the good conclusion if the business is a good business. If someone makes a cheshbon nefesh and he's only looking to find, look, I'm bad in this and I'm bad in that, and in general this and that, that's not a good conclusion. He will for sure not come out with a good conclusion. If you want to do a real cheshbon nefesh, it has to include where you were good, where you were doing a shir every night, you were doing this mitzvah, you were going to daven in shul and putting tefil and giving tzedakah. You have to include all the good things. Then it could be a real cheshbon. This week, shoiftim v'shoitrim titen lechu. If someone wants to give shoiftim v'shoitrim, shoifet the judgment, and the shoiter, the guy who makes policemen to go. Titen lechu b'chol shorechu. You have to do it in every aspect of your life. Asher Hashem elokecha noisen lechu. Even in these things that Hashem give you, you have to realize this. You have to be shoifet even the things that you have, not just the thing that you don't have. Like they say, if you really want to serve Hashem, Yiddish Jews came to the Beis Hamikdash. The posuk says when they come to be oile regel. How we say oile regel? To come out 3 times in a year by the Chagim. Yeah, the posuk says over there, "V'lo yairui punai raikom." You cannot see my face. Hashem says, empty. If you want to come and serve Hashem, you want to come into Beis Hamikdash. If you feel yourself empty, you're not in the Beis Hamikdash. You cannot serve Hashem. That's not the way how you can come to the holy days. That's not the way, Bechlal, how you can be a Oved Hashem. There's a lot to talk on this, but I want to bring out an akudah. And to summarize, when we look on 2 people, one is very excited about himself, he have a good confidence, and he's jumping into things, begashmius or berochnius, and the other one is very shy and he's lost and he's afraid. When you come to the first boy and you ask him, why are you so excited? What makes you so excited? He will tell you a reason. Because I have this, I have that. I know I have this kishuren, this koyach. I'm a Baal kishuren. Yeah, I have good quality. Kishuren. I have a good kishuren. Talent. Oh, talented. And you're going to ask for the boy, for the man that he's very down by himself. Why are you feeling like this? He will also tell you something. Because I know I heard from my Rabbi, I heard from my parents, I heard, or maybe he himself, because he passed through a few experiences that wasn't so good, and I'm nothing. So we see that the conclusion when a person will hold from himself or not comes from certain thoughts that somebody has put on him. Yeah, or he by himself have thinking of him like this, and a certain time of thinking a certain way makes a chasima, makes a conclusion, impression, and he's finalized that this is his Metzias. This is what he is. Yes. So these thoughts that brings him the conclusion doesn't have to be true. It's not mashana. It's not enough kemina. If it's true or not. If he thinks a certain way, that brings him to this conclusion. If the thoughts is good, positive, then he will hold for himself. He will make a conclusion that he is good. If it's no good, then he will lost his dignity. Which makes us to understand that these thoughts, that like we began to say from the beginning, that today we have a lot of machshavas, thinking constantly that we are not enough, that we are not good. We're having a lot of nisyonis today. It's very dry. Avodas Hashem is not so intelligent and with excitedness, and we have a lot of ups and downs, and we have a lot of machshavas. That's why we're getting a lot of thoughts that we are not beseder. It's not okay. These machshavas brings us to certain conclusion. Machshavas is very, very strong. It's very powerful. We used to think always that doing something that you do is powerful. So we see that even talk, if you say Lashon Hara, the Gemara says that someone says Lashon Hara, it's gonna kill 3 people. But in Tanya, he say in Igeres Kov Bais, something or kuvuv. He say that even machshuva, if someone thinks of other people no good, that's even more worse than even a dibber. And in Yoshe Divrei Emes he explains that things that the more rochni it is, the more not gashmi, more rochni, it has more power. He said, he brings a marshal. Hashem creates hurim, mountains. You can see that it comes a wind, a riach, and it could be oiker hurim. It could become a wind. It could be make turbulence.
Mountain disappear.
A wind could destroy a world. It could destroy houses and the sea. It could make a chorben. Even though the wind, when you're touching it, it's much more rochni. Yeah. So he said. So when you go this way, everything that is more rochni, it have a stronger impact, stronger potential. So machshavos is a very, very strong thing in ourselves. So we should know, very poshut, then when we are thinking of ourselves, and of course also of our kids, or the man on the wife on the man, if we think negative, and of course it comes out to say negative, this has an impact. This makes the kid or whatever feel that he's like this. We all know what we will say for a kid a lot of times, that you're not good and you're a failure, you're not good, you didn't do too many things that he's not good. He will have, by the years of 7, 8, 9, he will have his own conclusion that he's not capable to do things, that he's very low. Yeah, he will lose his self-esteem. So midat tov meriba, we should know the very strong impact that machshuva has, the way how we think on our kids, on whatever we have shaykhs with, and even on ourselves. The reason why we are not so excited and not so much confidence is only because we had not good machshuvas on ourselves. Or maybe the parents sometime in the past, or the rabbi that you were learning, he told you that you're not the best. This whole thing could be changed, and it's well known. That's why some people are going to go to people for help, and they're going to say, always going to be the thing that start to think positive about you. Take a pen, write down some positive things, and do it a lot of times, because in the beginning you're not going to believe yourself, you're not going to want to do it. I ask sometimes for a bocher, I'm learning a lot of times with bocher, write down on a sheet of paper 10 things that you are good. It took him a half an hour and he could not fill up 10 things, and even the few things that he filled out was, this is only 30%, this is only 20%, this is maximum 60%. He didn't have anything 100%. He was, from where come this? Everyone has so many milas, so many milas, because this is a way of putting him into machshuvas, saying a lot of times to him like this, and that makes him the conclusion. So the way, what I want to come to the conclusion on our shmis, the way how we should be ra'ayu noichiat, we should really look on ourselves, how we should get new koiches, how we should be uplifting, is by changing the way of thinking, by really recognizing the mile of our time, the mile, like I said, the mile of the avodah of Akev, the mile of our avodah apushet, the mile of being standing by the border with dirty clothes and fighting with the sign which is today. All these machshuvas, when you're constantly gonna uplift yourself with good positive machshuvas, that's gonna bring us to new conclusions. I'm looking a lot of times of the Lubavitcher Shlichim, and a lot of people are wondering how come every posheter mensch have so much emunah in themselves. It comes out they're really doing fascinating things. They're really caring about. They're making a shturim that is unbelievable, and not even what bigger guys in other places would do. But by listening a lot of the way how the Rebbe would talk to people, he had such a emunah in everyone. He was looking and he was thinking, and everyone as an unbelievable and bleak will. How we say bleak will? Without borders. You know, the Baal Tanya says that we have to look at.
Without limit.
limit.
No limitation.
We have to look in a Yiddish neshama how he is in machshuva hakdima da'ak, whatever it is. It means how the way how Hashem looks on him when he was still there. That's the way how I have to look, because that's what he is really now. Even now, he having clothes that the goof and everything that's takes him covering him. But his neshama, his potentials, is blig vil. Vesu oilam nusam belibam. Hashem gave the whole world in a Yiddish neshama. So to change things, to make in ourselves a more a happy spirit, and which will of course come out in bigger koiches, in bigger success, have to start with just understanding the matzav, knowing that our machshuvas, that we are downgrading ourselves, is not true. It's coming from thinking no good, from machshuvas that someone, or maybe myself, have put in me so many times that I'm not good, and I'm still not good, and I'm still not good. But it doesn't mean that this is true. And I have to change it. The way how changing it, how bringing out, is re'ayu noichi. Be misboined and your real self. Be misboined and your miles. Think constantly how good are you. Think on your kids, how good they are, even though you have to tell sometime. But if you inside will be with a lot of positivity on them, even though you're going to tell them sometime, Musa, whatever, it has to be better, it's going to come out from a heart that really believes in him and looks at him higher, and this could be changed. This could be, so we're not saying that from now on we should do obvious, go say for our things, only good things, like it should not be miskabel, it should not be accepted, he should see that it's funny. But in a very natural way, you know what, let's say better. You by yourself, everyone should by himself change the way in his room without the kids. He should change the way he looks on the other Yid. He should change the way he looks on his kid. Then, and think about it, a lot of times, and every day he could make a kviyas of a few minutes to think how good, how strong, how Yireh Shumayim he is, yes, how Hasidish a Yid he is, how his kid is going out from his way and is learning and is serving Hashem. Then when you're going to get to your child, he's going to right away, even without saying anything, he will feel it. He will feel your energy. The energy, the machshuvas, like we said, has a very big impact. So let's finish up with the Netziv. The Netziv, the Emek Dover, says a very interesting thing, that why Pesach, the Yom Tov of Pesach, Passover, have to come out b'chodesh uviv. Shumar is chodesh uviv k'boi tzusum mitzrayim. Why chodesh uviv? So he said that there is a fruit, the fruit, and there is the big part of the fruit is what we could eat and get full and enjoy. Then there is more digging inside. There is the zera, the kerala, the garin. And this usually we throw away. That's nothing, even though that's like the source of the peiros. From this we but I don't feel full. I don't take anything. So we're really being mezalzel in it. But when it comes the time of uviv, the time not uviv is already the time that comes out. That in our days it's not so familiar, so much familiar, because we getting everything from the store. But in the agriculture, in the real time, they used that it was the season that they saved every garin, every kerala, and it was much more choshev than the fruit itself. And this they put away and they planted, and this was a big metzias, a big choshev, because from this gonna come out a new tree. So he said, if you want to go out from Mitzrayim, Yetzis Mitzrayim Pesach is only b'chodesh uviv, is only when you look into your really mekor, your really shoirish, your garin, your noichi, and you know this, then you know your all potentials. You're not just judging your book by the cover, but whatever you are already experienced till now. When you're looking yourself as a garin, which has all the potentials, then you're really going out of Mitzrayim. Then you're really creating by yourself all the To finish up, just to say that by real Hasidus, it's explained a lot of Hasidic Sfurim, the real excitement doesn't just have to be because I feel that I'm good and I have potentials and I'm neshama and I have blik will. The very real, which is the highest level, is I'm just touching it, that I'm serving Hashem and I am so much designated, I don't know how to say it, and I'm seeing so much what Hashem's will that I don't have time. I don't even see myself in the picture. It's not that I have to deal with me. Okay, I feel good, I feel down. I have to raise my excitement. If I really see the King, if I really see the roots in Hashem, that's really what takes me over, and I'm being influenced into this part, and I'm forgetting about me in Bechlal. That's the highest thing. So there is a lot of things that I wanted to say. I could say more things that I didn't say, but my English, it's too hard. Chevre, let's get besimcha. Let's get very uplifting. Hold of ourselves. Hold of our kids and wife and chavayrim. Look on a Jew different. And these machshuvas will bring out more koiches, and we will literally mamish be more matzliach, more ma'aseh b'poel, more be able to shturim of the world and really bring closer the times of Mashiach. Let's hope we are all going to have a good chodesh and a good shunu toivu. We should all be gesund and freilach and serve Hashem with groß Atzluchem et simcha.
Thank you.
L'chaim, l'chaim.
Sure.